Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a viewer requested video, and that is reviewing all of the Rephr brushes I have in my makeup collection. I own all of the brushes currently available in Rephr's collection. I do want to preface this video by saying that all of the brushes I'm featuring in today's video have been purchased by me. I learned about Rephr brushes early last year, and I started off with buying their kind of launch collection, which I don't see available on their website anymore. I love the brushes that were available in that set, so throughout last year, whenever a new brush would become available in the concept store, I would buy it, and then at the holiday collection, I purchased the holiday bundle, which had their 3 new brushes there. When I was doing like my research today, getting all the pricing and everything, I noticed that Rephr is currently having 40% off everything on their website. I could not find when that sale ended, so hopefully when this video goes up, it will still be going on, because if you can get 40% off these brushes, that is phenomenal. The look that I created will be in the video going up on Wednesday. This video is going up on Monday, so Wednesday you'll be able to see how I got this look in the full kind of demonstration of the brushes being used. But today I will insert clips from that video as B-roll so you can see them in action as I'm talking about them. I always start my eyes by laying down a primer, a cream shadow, or a base color. For that, I like to use a flat brush, and with Rephr they offer 3 different brushes and they're all slightly different. So we have the Rephr 02, which is a fully natural hair brush. We have the Rephr number 21, which is a synthetic fiber brush. And then you have the Rephr number 28, which is a synthetic natural hair blend. Starting with the Rephr number 2, this is called the Firm Eye Shader. This is the natural hair. I believe all of Rephr's natural hair brushes are goat hair. That could be different, but that's what I could find on the website. Here in Canada, the Rephr number 2 retails for about $31. The Rephr prices are listed in USD, so getting an accurate conversion really depends, because the conversion rate from USD to CAD, it changes daily. So it's a little tricky. So the $31 is a roundabout price. This brush, since it is a natural hair brush, I like using this for powder shadows. Today I used it to lay down a shimmer shadow all over my lid, which works really, really well for that. I like this brush. It's a nice shape. For me, I can get right in here and kind of pack on shadow. The Rephr number 21. This is a fully synthetic brush. Rephr refers to this brush as a synthetic flat shader brush. I use this to blend out my cream shadow, which I used as my eyeshadow base today. I also like using this brush to blend out like eye primers and concealers. It has a stiffness to it, but it's also quite flexible for a brush like this. Some of these brushes that are fully synthetic in this small paddle shape, they can be a little stiff. This one, it does have a stiffness to it, but it also has a flexibility. So when you're working around the contours of the eye, it flexes and moves. And when you're using it for concealer, it's really nice for getting the highs and lows and fitting into the natural topography of the under eye. This brush also retails for $31. The final of the flat shading brushes is the Rephr number 28. I believe this is the newest one to the flat shading kind of lineup that Rephr has. And this is their natural synthetic combination flat shading brush. I use it to apply concealer. I find where this does have a natural synthetic blend, it's great for packing on concealers and blending them out, but also those natural hairs help to kind of softly feather things out. So where I apply concealer to my inner eye and outer corner, those natural fibers allow me to use more of the point of the brush to kind of go through and feather it in. So really like this. And this brush would also retail for around $31. The next section of our brushes that we're going to look at from Rephr is part of their eye blending brushes. Rephr has quite a robust collection. We have a total of 6 different eye blending brushes. While they can all be used for similar things, they're also the different shapes make some of them better for certain eye shapes and sizes than other brushes. The Rephr number 16, this is the large blending brush. This one retails for $21. It's also a natural hair brush. For me, even as a softening brush, I could use it, but if I'm trying to soften out the transitional area between like where I do my highlight and my crease color, this is a little too big. It moves things around a little too much and things can get very muddy. I like this shape though for powdering my under eyes, where it has a longer, almost like a ponytail shape. I can use it to press and then blend. So I love this for under eye powder. If you're someone with larger eyes, you might enjoy this for blending around the eye area. But if you have smaller eyes and you do have this in your collection, but you can't can't find a way to make it work, try it for spot powdering. It's really, really lovely for that. Rephr number 27. This is the fluffy blending or crease brush. Very, very similar to the number 16, but the number 27 kind of bells out a little bit more than the 16. Much like with my facial makeup, I will buff around with a finishing powder. I will take this brush with a finishing powder where the brow highlight is under to the lower lash line. I will use this to blend the eyeshadow out and create a softer edge. Technically, I don't need both of these brushes, and if you're buying brushes individually, I don't really see a need in having both of these because they are quite similar. If one sold out, go for the other one. There's not a big difference. Rephr number 15. This is the medium crease brush. I use this to lay down the first shade in my socket. I can use it to smudge up under my lower lash line. I can use it to clean up any edges. For me, this is a really good multi-purpose brush, and if I'm in a pinch or I'm traveling and I only have a few brushes with me, I can use this on its side to lay down a nice wash all over the lid. This brush is also goat hair, retails for $31. It's a nice brush. I really like this. If it was only in your budget to buy one Rephr eye brush, I would definitely say the number 15. One of my favorite brushes. Rephr number 1. This is the multi-purpose eye brush. For me, it's very similar to the 15. Biggest difference is the 15 is slightly longer. It tapers up a little bit more. This has more of like a fluffy, almost paddle shape. It's a little bit more pinched going up the ferrule and then it blossoms out. For me, I use these two very interchangeably. If I was traveling and I only brought one, I could do what I do with this one. With this one, they work very similarly. This one though, where it is slightly more pinched and slightly flatter in its profile compared to the 15, makes it a little bit easier for getting more opacity when packing a shadow on with the belly of the brush. This one also retails for $31 and it's made of goat hair. The number 13 and number 14. They look very similar. They function very similarly. They both retail for $31 a piece and they're both made of goat hair. The 13 is called the small crease brush. The number 14 is called the hooded crease brush. Honestly, I use them interchangeably. I will use this to apply the shade beneath my midtones. When I'm working in my outer corner and building depth and tapering in, I will use this brush. When I want to add a little bit more concentration, a little bit more depth of color, then I will use the 14. It's gonna go right here in that outer V shape of the eye. I will use that to buff here. I can use it to buff out my lower lash line. Number 13 is slightly smaller and slightly tighter than the 14. It allows me just to get a little bit more denser pigmentation with my color, whereas the 14, a little bit softer, creates a softer wash. However, you can build and layer with this brush to get the effect of this brush. Next, we're gonna look at Rephr's pencil or smudging brushes. There are 4 in the collection and they all work pretty similarly, but finding the one for the proper shape and size of your eye is gonna really help you determine which brush to choose. First one we're looking at is the Rephr number 12, and this is called the Smudge Eye Brush. I like this brush for, I could work with this in my crease. For me, it's a little too intense for my crease, but you can make it work with a light hand. I like using this for my lower lash line. I'll load up the tip of the brush with whatever color I'm gonna want on my lower lash line, and then I will start here and just buff along. For me, this is the perfect under eye smudging brush. By keeping the color here, as it kind of tapers out a little bit, the edges that are free of product will blend while I'm applying. So it's a 2-in-1 brush for me. I really like it. It's a great brush to have, and I've even used this before with concealer to go through, clean up under my lash line, clean around the brow. It's a very nice flexible brush, and one thing I do love about Rephr brushes, even though most of them are a natural goat hair, they clean up really well, and even with liquid and cream products getting into the bristles, they do clean up quite well. So that is the Rephr number 12. Love it for my lower lash line, and this also retails for $31. Rephr number 26. This is the large pencil eye brush. Also retails for $31. It's made of goat hair, and for me, this one is clean because I didn't use it. For me, the number 12 and the number 26, they're quite interchangeable. I use them for very similar things. I just reach for the number 12 a lot more because I like the shape better for my eyes, but the number 26 is more pointed, so you could get a little bit tighter under the lower lash line. But what I find with this, even when working with it quite tightly under the eye, where it is so pointed, I almost have to flip it up a little bit more to do a blend, but then I find it can get a little stabby with my lower lashes, so I don't reach for this one a ton. You could use this for if you wanted to do like a very soft cut crease look. Get it just on the point of the brush, place it in the deepest point of the socket, and you could use it to gently shade. But I don't reach for it a lot, so it's not one of my favorite brushes, and I use it when I need it, but it's just not a most reachable brush for me. Rephr number 3, which is the fine pencil brush, goat hair, $31. It's It's a very classic pencil smudge brush. If you compare it to something like the MAC 219 or 219 brush, it is slightly more pointed and it's a little bit finer of a point than that. When I did my eyeliner with my pencil eyeliner, I take my brush, I hold it from above the lash line, and I use it to hug over that lash line and just blend and soften things out. That's gonna give you a nice smoky effect. I really love it for that. In a pinch, I can also make it work for the lower lash line, but I prefer the Rephr number 23 brush. Also retails for $31, and this is a blend of synthetic and goat hair. Since this is a little bit smaller, if I want less smoke on my upper lash line, I will use this, but I like this with just a tiny bit of whatever darkest color I used here to place right here on my lower lash line and connect to the upper lash line. It's a really nice brush for me. I really enjoy it. It's not something I have to have, but it's something I really enjoy having in my collection. Rephr number 29, which is a flat eyeliner brush. This retails for $23 and it's made of goat hair. I like this brush. I don't use it often at all. For me, I purchased this brush when it launched because I thought it would be a great alternative for my favorite flat liner brush, which is the Laura Mercier flat liner brush. But where this is so teeny tiny, I find it a little tricky to work with, and especially if I'm trying to do my upper tight line, this is it's a little too small for me. If you were someone who does very detailed precision work, you could use something like this to kind of cut out a wing a little bit, or if you were gonna do a negative space between wing liner, you could kind of use this to clean up right in between. It's a nice one. I just don't reach for it a lot. Rephr number 32. This came out in their holiday collection, and it has this angled shape to it. They call this the contour eye brush. I don't love this shape for my eyes. I mean, it's quite a bulky brush, so trying to use something like this in the crease of my eye, I can make it work if I use just this kind of point right here, but it's a little too bulky. I've tried it with concealer. I don't love it for concealer. This one does not get used at all, and it is $37, so the most expensive of the eye brushes, and I don't really enjoy it. I'm sure someone does, but for me, it's not my favorite brush. And if you were on Rephr's website and you wanted to pick up my suggestions for the brushes I feel like you could create any eye look you wanted with, it would be these 5. So you have the number 28, which is the flat packing brush of natural and synthetic fibers. Great for packing shadow on the lid, smoothing out concealer. Really love this great multi-purpose brush in your collection. The Rephr number 14, which is what Rephr calls their hooded eye brush. I like this for working on my outer corner, applying color to my crease, and then I can go with my next brush, which is the Rephr number 15. I can use this again to work in the crease or blend out any harsh edges. Rephr number 15 is also a great one because if you're traveling, you want to pack lightly, you can use it on its side to apply your all over shadow, use the point to apply your crease color, wipe it off, and then blend out your edges. So if you only bought one eye brush, my choice would be the number 15. Rephr number 12, which is the Smudge Eye Brush. I love this for my lower lash line. For me, it's a one and done lower lash line brush. It's the only thing I really use it for, but that purpose alone makes my makeup application so much easier to get the look I like. So this is a must have. Rephr number 12. My little baby. I love the Rephr number 3. I can use this to apply eyeliner. I can use it to smudge eyeliner. I can detail the lower corner of my eyes. I can use it to spot conceal. I can use it to clean up edges around my lip line. Great brush, multi-purpose. Love this. All right, moving on to face. We are going to talk about complexion, and there's only 2 brushes really for base or complexion makeup. Rephr number 31, which was inspired by the Rephr number 17. The number 17 is the flat top complexion brush. This came in the launch collection, and I don't love it. We'll talk about this more in just a second. 31 though, really nice. It is a angled flat top brush. You have a mix of natural and synthetic hairs, and this is nice because you can use it to stipple or stipple and pull, which is how I like to. You get a very nice thin application with this brush. Cleans up quite easily. It's a nice size for most people. If you have a very petite face though, this might feel a little too big. The thing that gets me with this brush is it's about $125 here in Canada. So get this on sale. I got mine in the holiday bundle and it was, I think it was under $100. It may be something around like that, but I did not pay $125 for this brush, and it's nice, but if it was only available for full price, I don't think I would buy it because it's another thing I've noticed recently. The 3 brushes that came with that holiday set are the 30, the 31, and the 32. 32. I don't know what it is about these three brushes. They shed so much compared to all of my other Rephr brushes. So that's to be noted. These brushes shed a lot. I got this in a kit. If you're able to get it in a kit, save some money. It's a nice one. It's not one I would say run out and buy right now. It's nice, but it's not groundbreaking. Number 17 brush, the goat hair brush. It retails for $57. It's very small. I don't like applying foundation with it because I feel like it makes things look streaky, which this is one of their best-selling brushes. A lot of people love this. It's just a brush that I don't love. After I apply foundation with the 31, I will use this completely clean and I will go through and just buff over, really focusing like on the sides of the nose, smile lines, corners of the eyes, anywhere that's prone to your foundation settling and kind of building up throughout the day. Use this to gently buff over before you set it with powder, and it will help remove anything that could potentially crease later. You can find a brush very similar, lower price. Sigma has some great ones. Elf has a great one. It's just, this is nice, but for $57 full price, not my favorite. If you have a small face though, you might like it. It's just, for me, it's a pass. We have the number 25, which is the Flagship powder brush, and then you have the 30, which is the large powder brush. The Rephr number 30 used to be the number 11, went through some tweaks based on feedback, and it's now the number 30. Both of these brushes are made of goat hair. The number 25 brush, full price, retails for $163. The 30 retails for $125. Wow, crazy brushes. I got this in the concept store, so this was maybe around $60 when I got it. This was in the holiday bundle. Like I said, with the foundation brush, I think I paid under $100 for all three of those brushes. These are both nice. This one I like more for setting powder. This one I like for buffing out because it has a little bit more density to it. So when I'm using a light reflective loose powder, I can use this to really buff it in. But honestly, before I had this brush, I used this for setting and buffing. This one I've used for setting and buffing. They're both nice. I say biggest difference is this is a little bit denser, has more of a taper point. This is more of a bell shape, a little bit more flexible. Honestly, the differences are negligible, and I would say get whatever's on sale for a better price. That's it. Don't need both. I have both, so you don't buy both. We have an assortment of small cheek brushes, and that is the number 4, the number 18, the number 19. Biggest difference is the shape. Number 4 is small angled, number 18 is small round, number 19 is small and tapered or candlestick shape. Number 4, goat hair, and it is called the angled cheek brush. This retails for $50. I use this today to blend out my cream and powder contour. I'll apply it to product just here and use it to flick and let the larger bristles blend it. The number 18 is called the small tapered cheek brush. This retails for $44. I use this to pop blush on the front of my cheek. And then the number 19 is the candle cheek brush, which retails for $61. Do you need all three? No. I feel like you can create a very similar look with any of these three, so get the one that speaks to you if you want one. Now, a brush I love and I feel like is worth every penny is the Rephr number 21. This is the fan highlighting brush. Goat hair retails for $37. I only use this for highlight. I will take a really shimmery highlight, something like the Dior Forever Couture Luminizers, pop this right on the top of the cheekbone, buff, 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 blend, perfect highlight every single time. Compared to some fan brushes that are quite flimsy and flexible and you can never really get product, this has enough density to it. It does splay a little bit when you press down, but when used like this or like this, very beautiful finish every time, looks great. Love this brush. Another brush I love from Rephr is the number 22. The number 22 is called the Flagship Bronzer Brush. This retails for $140. I got this in the concept store. I think this was my first purchase from the concept store. It's a hunky chunky brush. I love it. It is huge. If you have a very small face, this might be too large of a brush for you. I love it because it's fluffy, but it has a density to it. This reminds me of the original Tom Ford bronzing brush before it went synthetic. And between the Tom Ford synthetic bronzer brush and this, I would say get this one over that one. And I think they're around the same price. This is a natural hair goat hair brush. It's just, I love this brush so much. And I have other brushes bronzer brushes I use, but this is the one I reach for the most in my everyday life. It's a nice one. I have a big face, so it works really well for me. I love this brush. And then that brings us to my other favorite Rephr face brush. This is the Rephr number 24, which is the buffing blush slash cheek brush. Another natural hair goat hair brush. This retails for $80. This is a beautiful brush. You can use this in so many different ways. I like using it with a blush with a sheer pigment because where it does have a density to it, you can use it to really buff the color in. This works well for blush, bronzer. You could use it if you really want to get a popping highlight. This works well for powder foundation. If you really want to buff it in, works beautifully for that. Setting powder, finishing powder. You could even use the edge of the brush where it's beveled a little bit to get a nice contour. For me, if you only had one cheek brush, this would probably be my top recommendation. My top picks, the ones that I would say go for above any others, the number 24, the number 22, and the number 20. For me, these are my three Rephr face brush standouts. I can do so much with them. I mean, here you have your highlight, you have your bronzer, you have your blush. All three that you need for creating any type of cheek look you want. And even though they are natural hair, I find the 22 and the 24 work really well for cream and liquid blush bronzer highlights. Really, really nice. Or I forget, I have two more things from Rephr. Eyelash Curler. This is nice where this one has a softer curve to it. If I try to curl my lashes all in one go, I'm going to pinch either the inner or outer corner. So with this lash curler, I find I need to work inner, middle, end. I don't reach for this one a lot, and it's nice. If you have more of a flat eye shape than I do, you might really enjoy this. For me, just not my favorite. Something I do love from Rephr, and I was worried about running out of it, but it is lasting so long, and that is the Rephr brush cleansing soap. Now, I keep it on a little cat dish I picked up at a Japanese dollar store here in Toronto called Omomo. This brush soap is beautiful. If you buy nothing else from Rephr, I say go for the brush soap. While it might not sound like something completely groundbreaking or make sense as to why you would want to spend extra money on this brush soap really, it intrigued me to try it out. Most of Rephr's brushes are all natural hair, and sometimes we're cleaning natural hair brushes. Since natural hair is made from an animal hair, which is similar to the makeup of human hair, if you use a really harsh soap, then it can strip the hair, leave the bristles of your brush feeling very brittle, and they can break, and it's just not pleasant, especially as we're seeing here how much these brushes cost. You want to make sure you are really nourishing and replenishing the brushes when you clean them. It's $26 full price. I think if you spend over $100, you get one for free, and it's currently 40% off, so it lasts you forever. I've been using this since it launched, and I clean my brushes with it weekly. I only use this for my natural hair brushes. For synthetic brushes, it can make them feel a little greasy, so I use my general dish soap olive oil mixture for cleaning my brushes, but natural hair brushes, this is the only thing I will use to clean them because it cleanses and conditions, and it's beautiful. And for brushes like this one, the number 2, that has a dark color on it, when you use the Rephr brush soap on these white brushes, the hairs always come back brilliant white like they were when you first got it. So brush soap is probably my number 1 recommendation from Rephr's sale. If you found this video helpful, informative, then make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share it with a friend who has been curious about Rephr brushes. If you want to see how this look was created, stay tuned. This video will be my next video going up, and if you shop the Rephr sale, then I hope you enjoy and I hope you get some fun things. I will have links down below. My links are affiliate links, so I will earn a small commission at no additional cost to you. But yeah, if you decide to use it, it just helps me keep my channel afloat. So enjoy your shopping adventure, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye y'all.